everyone. Thank you so much for coming out this afternoon to meet your candidates for elected office this year in Homewood. My name is Sandra Slayton. I will be moderating the forum this afternoon. First, we're going to have the Mayor's Forum, followed by, shortly thereafter, followed by the Trustee Forum. So we'll get started with the Mayoral Forum. I have to read a few introductory remarks. First of all, as I said before, thank you. Let's see. We'd also like to thank our partner, Homewood Chronicle, for being here and recording this and putting this on YouTube. So if you want to see it later, or if you want to tell your neighbors who are not here, this will be on YouTube. In accordance with the League of Women Voters Protocol, I was selected to moderate this forum because I do not live in Homewood and therefore don't have a vested interest in the outcome of the election. Of course, I'm always interested in what goes on in the south suburbs since I am a suburbanite. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that neither supports nor opposes any candidates for office. The League is not affiliated with any political party. Our purpose is to promote political responsibility through informed and active participation of citizens. Providing this forum allows residents to become better acquainted with the issues facing their community and to become familiar with the candidates running for office. So we are pleased to provide this service for the community. We're open to membership for anyone 16 years of age or older, male or female. And if you're interested in joining the League, you can go to our national website, LWV.org, click join, and follow a few simple steps. So holding these candidate forums has been a long core activity of our League, and we've developed a few protocols that will be followed today. The candidates were provided an advanced written copy of the guidelines and format that will be used, and they have signed an agreement that they will follow the guidelines as a condition of their participation. I'll take a few minutes to review these rules as a reminder for the candidates, as well as so that you, the audience, will know what to expect. Each candidate has randomly drawn a number and is seated in the order their number was drawn from left to right. So in this case, only two candidates, so it's pretty easy. Each candidate will be allowed a 2-minute opening statement. All questions will be asked of all of the candidates, so please don't address your question to one particular candidate. Candidates will be allowed a 90-second response time to the question. Now that's for the mayoral candidates. We have 8 trustee candidates, and we're going to reduce that time to a 60-second response so we don't keep you here all day. I know you want to go out and celebrate St. Patrick's Day or other things, so we're going to keep this at a minimum, not minimal, but a short time so that you're not here all evening. When the response time is up, the candidate will briefly finish his or her sentence, and if he or she doesn't wrap up promptly, I have something over here that I can toss over there to get their attention. Following questioning, each candidate will be allowed a 1-minute closing statement. Closing statements will be given in reverse order of the opening statement. Candidates, please put away any electronic devices, and I will ask the audience to please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. Candidates have agreed that they, their organization, and their supporters will not use the forum, portions of the forum, or any audio clips, video clips, cell phone photos, or transcripts of this forum for political advertising or other purposes. Questions from the audience must be written on the cards provided. Questions will be screened to reduce duplicates and to ensure that there are no personal issues or attacks. Similar questions may be combined. We will try to cover as many topics as possible so that you have as much information as you need to make an informed choice. To get the questions started, we normally have a few sample questions, but you guys have been really good about getting questions to us right away, so we can get right into it. Please feel free to applaud at the end of the forum, but not during the forum. And please refrain from making expressions of agreement or disagreement so as not to disrupt the forum. If time runs out and there are topics that have not been addressed, I will give the candidates a general summary of the topics so they know what issues are important to the voters. Your courtesy and cooperation are appreciated. So let's get started. It is my pleasure to introduce the candidates, and I should give them their name tags, which I meant to do after we determine which order they would be seated in. Meet Brady Chalmers and Richard Hofeld. Okay. Okay. So, Mayor Hofeld has chose number one, so he will be giving the first to give his opening statement. Mayor?
Okay. Microphone is on. I'd like first of all to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum. A bit about myself. I have a degree in accounting from Roosevelt University, and my work history began at Johnson & Johnson in Chicago as a cost accountant. I worked at Bagcraft Corporation as a cost accounting manager, the IBM Corporation as a senior business analyst, and I started my own business, Housemaster Home Inspections, before anyone knew what a home inspection was. My office performed over 48,000 inspections, and I sold it 2 years ago. My business experience lends itself to local government, meeting a payroll, staying on budget, marketing a product, and getting results, and most importantly, building lasting relationships based on honesty and trust. I'm an Army veteran, and I currently participate in the Veterans Administration Million Vet Program. I raised my family in Homewood. I have served on Homewood Civil Service Commission, Plan Commission, as a village trustee, village president, and president of the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association. Homewood is a model of what every town should be. Sound finances, economic development is flourishing. We have solid leadership, and Homewood is an inclusive community. We have a great village board who get it, and a great staff who get it done. I'm proud to lead them.
Thank you, Mr. Hofeld. And now you, Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting us. Thank you to the people of Homewood for giving us your time. And thank you to my opponent, Mayor Hofeld, for showing up. This is what democracy looks like. This is a good thing. This is an opportunity for folks to see and hear different visions about what the future can hold. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brady Chalmers, and I'm running for mayor or village president of Homewood. I hear you say it a couple different ways around here. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a small business owner. My kids are in public school here, and I'm a member of the PTA. My family is deeply rooted in the Southland. My family actually desegregated Country Club Hills. We were the first black family on 169th Street. The Klan burned down our home, and then we rebuilt and stayed for generations. I am a public policy advocate. I have a deep background in making the lives of working people better. I worked for President Barack Obama on both of his campaigns, including in a national leadership role. I worked for Governor J.B. Pritzker, also in a leadership role. And I spent over a half a decade working for Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle in a variety of roles, ultimately culminating as the Chief of Staff to the 5th District of Cook County, which includes Homewood. I have a background in not-for-profits and fighting for children. I worked for the American Heart Association, where we focused on childhood obesity prevention issues. And as mayor of Homewood, we're going to bring that spirit here. I believe that we can have responsible economic development that builds new parking and respects the taxpayer. I believe that we can fight for lower property taxes by making sure that the casino takes some of this revenue and gives it back to you as property tax rebates. I believe in funding our schools and our parks and our libraries, and I believe that together we can build the new generation of leadership that Homewood is desperate for. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me just mention that we do have timers sitting up front here. Somebody raised up one of the boards. So this is how they know how much time they have left. Okay. So since Mr. Hofeld gave the first opening remarks, Mr. Chalmers will get the first question. And this question is, how will you maintain the charm of our village and ensure new buildings fit the aesthetic?
Absolutely. One of the reasons that we moved here, and many folks moved here, is because of its small town feel. I don't think we have to upset the apple cart. I think that we should continue that. And one of the ways that we do that is investing in our Main Street corridors. So along Dixie Highway, along Ridge Road, and those are the interior of the community. And those places have a footprint. We don't need to tear things down. We simply need to make sure that we have businesses and organizations, not-for-profits, bistros, coffee shops, that fit the aesthetic of the small town and fit the aesthetic that folks are looking for. We're not trying to rewrite history here. We don't need to. But we can plan for a responsible future that looks like the people of Homewood and looks like the things the people of Homewood want. And so my plan would be to bring in businesses that kind of fit that aesthetic, right? And to make sure that we're not tearing down our existing footprint, but we're expanding on it in responsible ways.
Okay, thank you. And let me remind both of you, please address your responses to the audience because I can't vote for you.
We have a charming downtown. That's one of the things that makes Homewood a little bit special when compared to other communities. They just don't have that. Whenever a new business comes into town, they have to appear before our appearance commission. And our appearance commission is made up of folks just like you and me. They decide on the aesthetics for that property, what the landscaping should be, and the signage. And they've done a marvelous job of it. In our downtown, we happen to have 10 women-owned businesses, half of which are women of color. And it brings everyone back together for a charming downtown. I myself don't go into all the cutesy shops. My wife does that. And it's just a great place to be. And we're very fortunate to have it.
Thank you. You can hold on to the mic because the next question is yours. What are your plans for the casino money?
How did I know that question was going to come up? I went over and I looked over the casino and what we had said and what we should be doing. And it's really pretty clear. When the litigation was written for the casino, 2% of the casino revenue would go to the host community. The host communities are East Hazel Crest and Homewood. For the first 4 years, 1/2 of these revenues are routed to a public benefit fund to provide better health care and educational opportunities in the Southway. East Hazel Crest thus receives 1% of the remaining revenue. We have an intergovernmental agreement with East Hazel Crest. East Hazel Crest gets 55% of that 1%, and Homewood gets 45%. Homewood's revenue for the first 3 months, that's all we have that's been reported thus far, was $60,000 per month, which equates to roughly $1.2 million. Our capital needs over the next 4 years, and if any of you were at our public hearing on the budget, you're well aware of this. Building and roof replacements, $745,000. Vehicle equipment replacement, $3 million. Lead line service replacement, $14 million. Water tower replacement, $6 million. A new ambulance, $400,000. And a fire engine is now $1.4 million. And I've just been cut off. I'm just getting to the meaty part too.
My answer is a lot simpler than that. you guys deserve some property tax relief. These folks are coming into our towns, they're taking our money, they're bringing crime, and you get nothing out of it. I'm going to take some of that money and give it back to you. I believe that we should be providing property tax rebates. This is the second richest casino in the state of Illinois right now, and let's be clear, this is the beginning of the development project, not the end. The hotel has not opened yet. The 70,000 square foot plant convention center has not opened yet, let alone the entertainment and businesses that are also going to support the casino. This is millions of dollars coming into the town, and he's absolutely right. We do have capital development projects, which is why I think we probably shouldn't have been taking away our property tax money, siphoning it off into TIF districts, and bribing corporations with it. If we had appropriately used our money when what it was scheduled for, then we wouldn't have to take new revenue and pay for or get rob Peter to pay Paul. So I would take that revenue, which is growing and will continue to grow, and we will give some of that back to you. It's yours. You deserve it. You deserve some relief, particularly our seniors, many who are on a fixed income, while the bills keep going in one direction, but the income stays the same. So we have choices about how we're going to spend this money, and I think this is a very clear one between me and the current administration. I want to make sure that what belongs to you gets back to you, and I think that you deserve nothing less.
Thank you.
We're not allowed to ask questions?
No, sir. You can ask a question, but you need to put it in writing somewhere. You need a card. We can get you a card. Thank you. Hold on to that right there.
Yes, sir.
The next question. How will you or have you engaged the school districts to understand their priorities and needs for the future?
Absolutely. This is another question I love. I'm glad we're talking about what I consider the bread and butter issues. I'm part of the PTA of Churchill, and I was part of the PTA at Willow Elementary too. I'm a regular fixture at my kids' school. We take kids on field trips. We show up for lunch. We do recess. We go to after-school programs with them. And so I know what they need because I'm talking to the teachers. I've recently spoken with the principals. I've recently spoken with the superintendents. Our schools need new roofs. That's about $1.7 million a piece. Our schools need new HVAC. Our schools also need our parents to step up and be part of the solution because this is a community that is community-centric. And so I know what the schools need because I participate in them. I know what the students need because, well, they're my kids and our neighbors' kids. We're invested in this. And because I have that relationship with the teachers and the students and the administration, it's the reason I'm endorsed by the teachers union. The teachers understand that I am the choice for teachers and families. It's actually the reason I'm endorsed by 12 different labor unions and organizations that represent working families and people, and I have not got or received the endorsement of a single politician because I want to be accountable to you. I want the schools accountable to you. I don't care what those folks on the 5th floor or in Washington or in Springfield think. I care about what you think and your needs.
Thank you.
The village of Homewood is separate and apart from the schools. We have various taxing bodies within the village of Homewood. We have park districts, we have schools, we have library, and we have the village of Homewood. We've always worked well together. With regard to property taxes, the general fund of the village of Homewood is $28 million, and property taxes make up just 12% of that general fund. This is approximately 11% of a resident's bill. This village property tax just stays at that level for the last several years. Inequities are really due to reassessments by the county assessor's office. My assessment increased 50%, my tax bill increased 30%. The county should have capped assessments at no more than 10%. And my property tax appeal was denied. Once again, the village of Homewood works separately from the school district. They are a separate body, not a part of village government. And by the way, as far as TIFs go, we have joint review boards, and all of the other governmental agencies sit in on those joint review boards. We have never had a no vote on proceeding with a TIF from any of those government bodies.
Can I respond?
No?
I mean, you'll have a little time at the end, so you can use that however you want.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can hold that now.
Sure.
Get it. What will you do to attract new industries to the business corridor west of Halsted that aren't retail or restaurants? What will you do to attract more industries to the business corridor west of Halsted that are not retail or restaurants?
I don't know specifically what corridor you're referring to. On 175th Street, we have the Prairie Lakes area, and we have a 4-acre site that is going to be soon apparel redefined. They're an outfit out of Crestwood. They lease their properties right now, and that was village-owned property. It will soon be productive and back on the tax rolls. As far as Ridge Road goes, there's been an empty vacant space to the immediate west of Dairy Queen for years. That has been in court. It's been in litigation. And I've been told now that the case is finalized. And soon we'll see some plans come in for that. I advocate seeing, when we talked about it years ago, seeing a medical use on the first floor and several floors of apartments. One of the things that's nice about that property is the owner of Dairy Queen is a partner in that land, so he's not going to be doing anything that's detrimental to the neighborhood. I can't think of any other corridors that would be west of there, other than the Brunswick zone, which is certainly under development now.
Thank you. Do you want me to repeat that?
No, not at all. Yeah. So if she wanted, I'll repeat it. They wanted to know what we were going to do to bring businesses to the corridors west of Halsted. This is actually an area I'd love to talk about. One of my jobs was the Deputy Digital Director to Governor J.B. Pritzker, and I preceded that as the Digital Director to Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. I'm going to advocate for Google is bringing 50,000 employees to Chicago. They're going to need somewhere to live. These are folks who are highly educated, that do not necessarily want to stay in an urban jungle, who spent lots of money for their houses in California and San Francisco, and they're going to want to buy houses here. We are going to aggressively court those folks here. They should come to Homewood. We have the office space. We can bring the tech corridor here. The governor has also set aside billions of dollars for semiconductor manufacturing, fabrication, for new silicone, for all sorts of advanced technology. And a lot of these places are looking for a place to put down roots. I think that Homewood's a perfect place for that. Under a Chalmers administration, I'm going to be seeking the jobs of the future. So we can't just rely on retail. We recognize that things are going online. We recognize that we're moving into a digital era. We need to prepare our town for that. We need to prepare our children for that. And so that's what I'll do. And fortunately, I have the requisite background. This is what I've done professionally. I've helped our biggest leaders make their biggest decisions. And we'll continue to be able to do that with my partnerships here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. How specifically will you support the small businesses that make our village unique?
Absolutely. So right now we have something called a TIF district, and I imagine the mayor and I are going to have a pretty robust conversation about them because we feel very differently about them. But there are two parts to a TIF district, or well, there can be. And one is called a SPIF. It stands for Small Business Improvement Fund, not the TIF. That's something you can do if you want to prioritize your small businesses in Main Street over your big boxes in Wall Street. So I would prioritize those folks by making sure that they had access to additional funds, not just what was here today, but what can be there tomorrow. Because if we're taking this money from the taxpayer, then we really do need to support the tax base, and our tax base are small businesses. The folks here are what lured the large businesses here. They didn't come here for the tax incentives. They came here because the average person in Homewood has a median income of over $100,000, and that the people of Homewood, the village buying power of Homewood, that is what you guys can spend every single day. What we spend is $1.2 million. This is a very successful town with lots of buying power, and businesses come here because we have that buying power. Not a single person ever moved here for the tax increment financing, but our small businesses can be supported by using mechanisms that we give to the Fortune 500 and give it to them. It's simply a prioritization of Main Street over Wall Street, and this is playing out all over the United States of America. What type of country do we want? Where do we invest?
Thank you.
I've yet to have a business come in to see me that hasn't inquired about tax breaks. And the reason for that is We're 5 miles from the state of Indiana, which is far more favorable to business, and also Will County to the west. We have a myriad of incentives that are available not only to small businesses, but to large businesses as well. We have a tip incentive, which is a 23-year rebate of taxes generated by that business. And those are vested by the other taxing bodies as well. We have Class 8, Class 6B, and Class 2 tax reductions available through the county, which we apply as needed. We have a places for eating tax on restaurants. We rebate that to restaurants when they need to remodel their facilities. We have an enterprise zone in place in various areas. That means that sales tax on equipment purchase is reduced, and also reduced building permits. We have a non-tip incentive. We just granted it last Tuesday to a wood shop in town where she was doing remodeling, and she received $12,000 worth of incentive, approximately 25% of her investment. We do things wisely, and we will continue to do those, and we are attracting more businesses that way. To say that taxes are not important is naive.
Thank you. Next question for you, Mr. Hofeld. What 2 accomplishments as a local leader are you most proud of?
There's probably one that most people don't remember. The area behind Dairy Queen, the Linden Gladville area, used to flood. And when I first came into office, I took money that was available for, at that time, taking down the village hall and putting up a new village hall. We remodeled the existing village hall, which is handicapped, that has complete handicapped access today, and we put that money into that particular project. I take great delight in the fact that none of the homes over there flood. As far as another great achievement that we've done, I think one of the more current ones is the Brunswick Zone. That property had sat idle for years, and we acquired that through a county program where we bought it for the back taxes, and the taxes were wiped out. We worked with a developer. We have Ollie's over there now. I'm sure most everyone's gone over to Ollie's to try them out, get all those bargains. We'll have a 30,000 square foot liquor store in there, similar to a Binny's. We will have retail use on the far east side of that. It looks like it might be a health club, something along that line. And we will have a restaurant coming in as well. A 6,000 square foot restaurant, and a Starbucks will be coming in front of Ollie's. So I'm very proud of both of those accomplishments. One residential, one business.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not the mayor, so I certainly won't be able to read off the stock ticker. But the thing I am most proud of is my connections with people like the folks in this room, and building community, and knocking on doors, and meeting residents, and meeting folks where they are, and participating in our schools, and participating in our libraries, and being the example that we want to set for our children. I think that is equally as important as our corporate success. I think that it's important to do these things. I don't believe in an either-or strategy, but I do believe in a yes-and. But as far as things I'm proud of that I have done in government, the Cook County Medical Debt Relief Initiative is something that I am extremely proud of. We forgave over $1 billion in medical debt for pennies on the dollar. We went to all of the hospitals in Cook County and we said, you guys have billions of dollars in medical debt from folks who cannot pay these bills. And the people who cannot pay these bills, they end up having bad credit. They end up being afraid to go to hospitals. And later in life, they end up being kind of a drag on the system because of pre-existing conditions that they could have met. We took $12 million of taxpayer money. We retired $1 billion of debt for folks in Cook County, the people who needed it most. And this is what I'm proud of in government, doing the most for those who have the least. Because if we're not doing that, what are we doing? The haves already have, by definition. So I'm proud of looking after the have-nots and the work that we've done for them.
Thank you. Okay, yes, hold on to that microphone. I already shushed her.
I was about to say, that's my mom.
Okay. Let's see, this question Mike. Okay. Might have been answered a little bit, but no, not by both of you at least. How would you address situations like the vacant Walmart on Halsted?
Well, the easiest way is by not doing them in the first place. Many folks knew that was a bad idea before it happened. When you have your development philosophy based on around giving the most to those who have the most, you lose all of your leverage. And so what happens is an organization like Walmart can come in and they can use their leverage as being one of the titans of global business and come into a town like ours and make it harder for small businesses to set up and absorb all of that talent we have. So if you had a mom and pop shop, well, you can't compete with Walmart's prices. If you had a mom and pop pharmacy, well, you can't compete with Walmart. And yet here we go, less than a decade later, Walmart looks up and recognizes that they actually have a better deal for leaving a hole in the ground and creating urban blight because they already have a facility in Country Club Hills. So my solution would be to not put us in disadvantageous positions to start with, but also I would go seek out other additional organizations. It doesn't have to necessarily be a big box, or if it is, it can be an experience. It doesn't have to be a Walmart. People in Homewood would kill for a Dave & Buster's or someone to take their kids, or even creating green space just to break up the concrete jungle. What they want is creativity, purpose, and drive. What they are tired of are excuses as to why what has been done has not been undone, and a plan for how to fix it.
Thank you. Ms. Hofeld?
Sure. Walmart did not receive any incentives other than a Class 8 reduction in their real estate taxes with a cap on it. They didn't reach that cap. When they left Homewood, the Class 8 was rescinded, and Walmart does not own that property. They lease that property. It's owned by a REIT, a Real Estate Investment Trust out of Michigan. Walmart has 10 years left on that particular property. They are currently paying $2.2 million a year with rent and real estate taxes. We have been working with developers who are interested in that site. Walmart is willing to put up some money to get out of their lease. It's not really substantial enough. The important thing is Walmart left because of their own mistakes. They left because of internal theft. They didn't monitor their own store. They should have been doing that. Walmart did not really impact the downtown at all. All of our small town shops have thrived. In fact, at our latest budget hearing, which was last Tuesday, our sales tax revenue exceeds what it was when Walmart was there, and Walmart was one of our largest tax producers.
Thank you. And you may hold that microphone.
Sure.
The question is, do you agree with removing the village parking lot for condos? Why or why not?
Sure. The Village Hall parking lot has been subject to development inquiries for a number of years. We currently have a LOI, letter of intent, on the table from a man who wants to put in a 60-unit apartment building there. I fully support that. That will bring in over 100 people to shop and eat in our downtown. I think the proof of that was the Hartford building. 36 units, fully rented within 1 month. We need to bring in more people into the downtown. As far as parking in the downtown, and I hear this quite often, there are 6 parking lots, all of which have been identified with new public parking signs. I think they're quite obvious now. We have 137 parking spaces in the Harwood Metro lot for free parking in the evenings after 5 and on the weekends and public holidays. It would really help if the business owner and their employees would park on Hickory to free up some of the parking in the downtown. That's what we really need. There is parking in the downtown. It should be better identified. And one of the things we're also going to be looking at in the next year or so is trying to obtain 2 additional private parking lots. One, the American Dance Studio, and then trying to talk to the church on Dixie Highway to see if they would be willing to sell their property to the village for a public parking spot.
Thank you.
There's not enough parking downtown. I'm just going to be blunt with you. There's not. Anybody who goes downtown knows there's not enough parking downtown. We don't need to tell people in the room who try to use downtown when they can't park their cars that they have what they need. I believe in a holistic approach. When you're developing, develop for the people that you have and the people that you want. If you had taken, and I don't want to say the royal you, actually, if the town had taken the exact same tack towards residential parking that they took towards making sure that the casinos had adequate parking, we wouldn't be in this position. All of those parking spaces could be multi-level, but they weren't. They weren't developed with you in mind. They weren't developed with tomorrow in mind. But the casino's parking was developed with tomorrow in mind. And so it's a bit difficult for me to hear about the needs of the people being met when they're not met. And very few people in public would say that they are. It is one of those things that makes sense from an administrative standpoint. You can point to the number of lots, but if you point to the number of people trying to get downtown, you don't know, because some of them just turn around and go home because there's nowhere to park. And everyone knows this. And if you talk to the businesses all along 183rd, all along Dixie, they will tell you the same. Folks can't shop here because they can't park here. And I just think it's disrespectful to you guys to tell you the opposite of what you already know. So I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you, as we say in my community, and give you the brass tacks. We're gonna build more parking. We have to.
Thank you. Okay, your question, Mr. Chalmers. There are several questions on this particular card, and some of them have been answered. One of them has to do with casino money. What are you going to do with it? So let's go to the other.
Louder.
Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot to put the microphone on. I was saying that there are 4 questions on this card. At least one has been answered already. So the next one is, what are you going to do new for Homewood? And you have the mic.
Yeah, a lot of things. Well, first I'm going to reinvest in our schools. If you got the school report card recently, and many of you do, you know that our schools are suffering because we have divested from them. So we're going to put that money back. We are going to bring new businesses into Homewood. We're going to bring the tech sector into Homewood. Once again, Google and Amazon are bringing tens of thousands of new employees. They are building a corporate headquarters. Those people need a place to live. They need a place to raise their children. They need a place to feel at home. And so the goal is to grow the pie. We don't have to remain stagnant. We can hope for and pursue new businesses. There are billions of dollars in the state and county budget for tech-based businesses. We should be encouraging those businesses to move here. We should be seeking them out. You should have heard about our administration already doing these things. The construction is already underway at the Thompson Center. So if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. And I don't plan for Homewood to fail. And I don't fail to plan, because we're going to bring those businesses here. And that's how we're going to grow. That's what we're going to do new. We're going to increase our tax base because we're already bringing new business to the county. But where do they live? Where do their kids go to school? Where? Here. It can be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Hofeld.
Sure. You have to have goals. You have to provide for the future. I'd like to continue and to enhance what we're doing. And a few of these things are maintaining fiscal responsibility. We have a 5-month cash reserve in our general fund. No other town has that. We acquired Hammond Water through needed cash reserves. We didn't pay a single dime in debt for that. We had $12 million in cash reserves for our new water project. We meet our capital needs. We're going to grow our economic development, among which are developing a Walmart property, getting a French market, so we have breads, brick cheeses, pastries, butcher shops in the downtown. I want to see a Mediterranean restaurant. We have a lot of choices. We don't have a Mediterranean restaurant. And as I mentioned earlier, developing the area west of Dairy Queen. I want to create a community garden. We have that on the books now in our budget for the area immediately to the west of our landscape and maintenance property. I want to see that a performing arts center is established where the old auditorium was. We've taken the first steps toward that. We have $1.3 million in grants given to us. We'll do it. I want to continue tree reforestation. We have a 50-50 tree share program, and we'll continue plantings in the downtown. We'll make more public improvements in the downtown. Lighting, more benches and tables, and encourage more outdoor dining. What's our challenge? Our challenge is to find funding for lead line replacement.
Thank you. And the next question is, on this card is diversity for you? That's the question.
The late Tim Bradford from Rich Township, he and I used to have this discussion, and I told him I dislike the word diversity. I prefer to use the word inclusive. I don't think we're a diverse community. Diverse means we're different. I like to say we're inclusive. We're all together, and Homewood has always been like that. Black, brown, white, Asian, we are all together. And what's typical of that is when you go to our events in town, you look at the events, and you see people, families that are out there. They're having a good time. One of the things with regard to our events is I won't allow a carnival or a beer tent. They just cheapen things. We strive on family and inclusivity.
Thank you. Mr. Chalmers.
I'm not going to run from the word diversity. I think it's our strength. I don't run from equity. I think it's our goal. I don't run from inclusion. I think it's our talent. I'm not afraid of these things, and I will fight for them. I will stand up for them. Right now, Washington is waging a neo-segregationist campaign in the United States of America. We will call it what it is in Homewood. We will not dance around it. We will fight it. We will stand up for our values. This town looks like the United States of America. I always say that Chicago is the most American city in the United States. We have everything. We have every culture. We have every type of business. We have every type of art form, faith, love, religion. This is what makes us unique. We don't have to say we're not part of this, we're that. No, we're all of it and then some. We are more than some of our parts. We are better than our past. It is okay to talk about where we started. My family started in the Southland by having its home burned down by the Ku Klux Klan. And now here I am, a generation later, a black man running for your mayor. Things can and will improve if we choose to improve them. These are not things that we have to shy from. These are things that we should lean into. Our diversity is what we value. That is why people move here. That is what people love about this place. And I am proud of it. I'm proud that my next door neighbors on both property lines are immigrants. Right next door, one's Mexican and one's from Italy. The next one's from Nigeria. This is a place that embraces diversity. And so let's continue to do that.
Thank you. And you can hold that mic. I'm going to combine these two questions because they both have to do with school taxes. One question, how will you divert more money to schools so we don't have to keep raising taxes? The other question is, what are your plans to keep property taxes down besides using the casino revenue?
Well, property taxes, once again, are set at the county level, though I do want to go back to something the mayor said specifically about property taxes, which is completely inaccurate. He said that property taxes go up because of what the assessor did, and there should be a flat tax on property taxes. Oh, can you hear me? All right. I said I want to challenge something that the mayor said on property taxes because it's completely inaccurate. He said that the assessor is the reason that our property taxes are going up and that our property taxes should be capped. That is not true. The reason that your property taxes are going up is because the Board of Review, which reviews the assessors, brother has a property tax firm and he's balancing the books of downtown Chicago on you. This is what I mean about honesty in government. We should be okay with telling people when they're being ripped off by government, and they're being ripped off by government. Chicago Central Business District gets tax breaks. Those tax breaks have to be made up somewhere in the budget. They make them up off the backs of the people in the Southland. Let us call the truth and shame the devil. We know what's going on. Everybody does. Larry Rogers is ripping us off, and we should stand up to that.
Thank you.
Now, I'm talking about Homewood. Homewood's taxes. Wait. They said Homewood. Homewood's taxes are a two-part conversation between the assessor's office and the Board of Review. The assessor makes the assessment, and the Board of Review director, Larry Rogers, makes the review. He said, Larry Rogers will change the assessment and say that you pay more in taxes. This is a fact. This is a fact. You can look it up. Go look at who makes these decisions and who gets the tax cuts. Downtown Chicago gets the tax cuts so that you get the tax raises. I'm going to stand up for you and not the corporations. Once again, Wall Street versus Main Street. Choose today which matters to you.
Thank you. Audience, if you have questions or you disagree, you can talk to the candidates after the forum, but not during the forum, please.
Could you repeat the question,
Yes,
please?
I will. All right, so it was a two-part question. There were two questions, and they were very similar. What are your plans to keep property taxes down besides using the casino revenue? The other question is, how will you divert more money to schools so we don't have to keep raising taxes?
Schools are a separate taxing body, as I said before. We contribute a small factor toward that. The Village of Homewood provides crossing guards and pays that entire amount of money annually. The schools are in a tight fund pinch. They should be getting more money from the state of Illinois. Right now, I believe they're being funded at 50%, should be up 75 to 80%. They don't have other sources of revenue. So when you look at your tax bill and you see that 75% of your tax bill is schools, don't blame the schools. They're put in a tight spot. The Village of Homewood, as I said earlier, has capital money, casino money that's being diverted into capital expenditures. The benefit to the taxpayer is this: we wouldn't have to issue small bond issues which incur debt, and then they're paid for by the taxpayers. That'll be paid for through the casino revenues. And I think I may be missing something else on the question, but
okay.
I'm out of time. But one other thing that my opponent said, I did not say cap taxes, I said cap the assessments. There's a difference. Go right ahead.
Thank you. That's not me. Sounds like it's coming from over here. Okay, thank you so much. The next question is, how will you make Homewood a community for seniors to age in place comfortably?
What do I know about seniors? About 25% of our population are seniors. We do have a seniors committee, and I attend all of their meetings. Years ago, we had a senior taxi program that fallen by the wayside because they use Uber and they have family members or friends that drive them to different places. We are constantly aware of senior programs, and that's what our senior committee really tries to bring across. All of that information from the seniors committee is posted on our website, so people are aware of what benefits are available. One of the things we did several years ago, we had an old-fashioned ice cream sundae. Mrs. Egdorf's in the audience, if you remember that, in front of the Gottschalk House. And seniors loved it. It was old-fashioned barbershop music. It brought in just a lot of seniors for that, and I think we can do that as one of our events as well. But as far as seniors in the community, they're well taken care of, they're well respected, and I'm one of them.
Thank you. Mr. Carlson?
Absolutely. I can talk about what I do for the seniors today. I spend lots of time with them. I spend time at Freedom Village. We're there, I think, every week for the last month or so, just taking time, spending time with them, bringing in their groceries, helping them with things, paying attention to them. And one of the common things that I heard, and I've knocked on every single door to every single person in Freedom Village, which is our senior home, is that in all of the years folks live there, that doesn't really happen with the mayor. They're not used to it. Yesterday, I was with our seniors at Pi Day at the Irwin Center, and the director said in 5 years of doing this, mayor's never showed up to that. So I can't talk about what his record is on this, and I know he is a sitter, but I can talk about mine. I'm present. And from what I understand, I took care of my senior father until he met his Lord. I took a year off of my career to be his home health care aide. I made him meals. I wiped his backside. I know what it's like to be there for seniors, which is why, as part of my campaign, I prioritized them. There are seniors in this room who have seen me, who have spent time with me, who I have had slices of pie with. I'm not going to point you out, but I know you're here, and I know why you're here. You're here for me because I'm there for you, and I get it, and I'll continue to do that. The folks at the Irwin Center actually asked me if I could help them get up to Freedom Village to increase programming. They even offered to sponsor a bus. So I'd like to point out that for 28 years, this opportunity has been there. It's being seized by me here, now.
Thank you. And you can keep that. The next question is, we live in a suburb. Is a TOD, transit-oriented development, I'm assuming, really possible in the way it's been outlined? I'm not sure who outlined. Okay.
The way, if you read the village plan and the way it's put out there, I'm wondering, can you do that in the suburb? It counts on no cars.
Let me.
I think that question would be better served to the person whose plan it is, right?
Or the person who wants to be there.
But here's the thing, I believe in public transportation, and I believe that we need to increase it. But the village's plan, unless it's based on the Cook County plan for increasing electric access and making sure that we have bike ped development in the Southland to increase access for children and safety for children, I'm not sure if it's one that I would go with. I'm going to have to review his plans because I'll be honest, I'm not the expert on everything this current administration wants to do. I'm the expert on what I want to bring to you. And so I have worked in bike ped. That's actually what we did with the American Heart Association. I spent years reviewing municipalities all over the country. And we went to them, primarily on the West Coast, but some also in the South and Midwest, where we said, how do we do things better? How do we get less cars on the street? But we know that cars exist. How do we make sure that we increase access to bikes? How do we make sure that we increase access to public transportation? Because we find that when folks have good public transportation and when folks have bike ped, they use cars less. And so if you have development where there are entire stretches of this town where there is no sidewalk, well then how are you going to use anything other than a car? Right? I just think that development should be a bit more centrally planned and a bit more responsive so that folks can get around a bit better. We can't assume that everybody has a car, and we know for a fact, based on what we see on 183rd and 187th, that people use these thoroughfares like they're drag strips. And so if we're going to reimagine how we do development, I would do it from scratch, not with something that's already been proposed.
Thank you.
TOD, or transit-oriented development, relates to that area around a metro station. And we've been very successful in what we've done. The metro station was just remodeled and rehabbed. Thankfully, it was completely paid by Metro. The village did not have any debt obligation with that. The Hartford building opened up about a year and a half ago, as I said earlier. 36 apartments fully rented. The developer who wants to build on the Village Hall parking lot with 60 units knows that that will be a successful project because you can almost fall out of your bed and get onto the train. That's what people want. And that's what we're doing with transit-oriented development. Not something where you ride a bike from 183rd Street. That's not transit-oriented development. It's in the area of the metro station.
Thank you. What will you do to display more diverse / welcoming decor around town to reflect our diverse community?
Give me a decor.
Decoration. Like what they did for Black History Month in East Hampton Press.
Again, I say we're an inclusive community. We celebrate all holidays, be they black, Polish, white, whatever they are. I don't feel that you have to display flags and that you have to show different types of signage like that. You do that through the display of what you're doing on an everyday basis. And that's exactly what we do. We're welcoming to all people.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to once again point out that I believe diversity is our strength. I don't need to tiptoe around these things. I got no problem shouting out your culture. One of my great-grandmothers is Irish. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. Shout out to Granny Lucille Hunt, right, Mom? Right? Everybody comes from different backgrounds. It's okay, guys. That is what makes America, America. Every single person in this room was told in school that this is the great melting pot. That is what we all learned, right? So it's okay to celebrate that. It's okay to have flags up during Black History Month, or Women's History Month, or Pride, or Latino History Month, because we're proud of our community. We're proud of the different cultures that make it up. We can celebrate those things openly. And those are the types of things that attract the types of people who make Homewood Homewood. Those are the types of things that attract the types of businesses that find the folks who can have a $1.2 million a day in spending power. We don't have to run from the big issues. We don't have to be afraid of the moment of the day. Just because Washington wants us to fear race doesn't mean we have to listen to them. This is the land of Lincoln. This is the land of Lincoln. I say once more, this is the land of Lincoln. We stand up for diversity. We fight against the forces of oppression. The people who want to divide us based on pigmentation are the ones we run out of town. We don't tolerate that here. We encourage each other to be ourselves. It's one of the best things about this place, and I'm proud of it.
Thank you. All right. Okay. This will be the final question. It's been just about an hour, and you have the trustee forum following. So I'll give this last question, and then you'll have an opportunity to have a 1-minute wrap-up statement. Thank you. How would you make yourself accessible to residents and businesses? Well, first of all, is access to leadership an issue? But let's...
Well, I'll answer both. To me, access would not be an issue. The way that I make myself accessible in the administration is the way that I make myself accessible now. I come to you. Many people in this room have heard from me personally, or a member of my team. We have knocked on your door. We have sent you text messages. We call you. We show up. We are having events at organizations all around town constantly. You're not going to be limited to 1 day a week to see us, because we're going to come to you. We believe that it is our responsibility to meet you where you're at. Many of our seniors can't get around. So if I had to wait for them to come see me once a week, I'd never know what they needed. Instead, I show up once a week to where they are. I knock on their doors so that they see their leadership in the flesh, so that they know that I'm here, so that they know that I'm working, so that they know that I'm on their side. My leadership style is exactly what you see. It is a person who has the energy, the confidence, and the stamina to make sure that I'm getting to every single person. There will be a person in my job whose entire job will be to call you and field your complaints, because that's our job. You should complain to us, and then we should solve those problems and work together to get it done. So you won't have to look for me. I'm already looking for you. That's my answer.
Thank you.
Lord. Open government. I'm available at the Village Hall every Saturday morning from 9 to noon. I've done that for 28 years. Everyone knows that I'm there. I take compliments as well as concerns. At our village board meeting, at the top of every agenda, we have public comments. After every agenda item, a person can speak. All of our village board meetings are on our village website. I've never seen you at a village board meeting, sir. We have committees and commissions. Volunteers for all of our meetings are public. We have an appearance commission, beautification commission, economic development, ethics, fire pension, planning and zoning, senior, stormwater, tree committee, and veterans committee. All open meetings. We have a civics academy. The third session starts April 14th. And we host block parties where the fire department attends, the police department attends, and so do I.
Thank you very much. Can we give these gentlemen? Okay. Thank you so much for your answers. We'll now give you a 1-minute opportunity to make a final statement.
First thing I want to say is the first thing I did say. Thank all of you. Thank you. Thank the League of Women Voters for hosting us. Thank my opponent for showing up. He's right. I don't go to the village meetings. I'm not an extension of his administration. I'm a break from it. I'm giving you folks the opportunity to plan the future that you want. And I didn't attend his meetings any more than he attended the Cook County Board of Commissioners meetings where we set the budgets. So I want to make sure that you have access to the things you need. We have a choice here. We can have a positive future that focuses on working families, on public schools, on respecting the taxpayer, on environmental development, and a Main Street take as opposed to a Wall Street take. I can't tell you folks what you value, but I believe that I share them. I believe you guys want a town where your schools are protected, your pockets are protected, and you are respected by an administration that is accessible and seeking you out. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I believe there are 4 basics to good local government, and in Homewood we have them all. Fiscal responsibility, economic development. We've had tremendous successes. And we say no to beer at gas stations, payday loans, and LED window lights. We're selective. We have good public services. Our events are family oriented. Never a beer tent, never a carnival. Over the next 4 years, our accomplishments will be enhanced and will continue. Homewood will have even more successes. That will be done. Homewood is a gem of the South Suburbs. Former Senator Bill Maher once said to me, he could go into Waltz and be out in 5 minutes. When you go in there, you'll be an hour answering everyone's questions. Well, that's what Homewood's all about, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it.